Alright, so the time right now is 8:47 p.m. and it's Saturday, January 24th, 2026. And right now I'm doing DoorDash and Uber. Go figures. But today I want to touch on a topic that I've been noticing coming up very, very, very often. Well, it's something that I've been seeing very, very often, but it's something that also I've been seeing a topic that comes up very, very often. And it's so crazy that it's the usual suspects every single time. And this might be controversial, but it's definitely something that I've been seeing a very big pattern of in my everyday life in business every single time. But this I don't want to say stereotype, but this statistic or this pattern that I've been seeing, I can't say that it's lies or it's fictional or but it doesn't apply to everyone in this statistic. But it seems that for the female or women that do business, and whenever I do business with women, because I do business with men and women in business, you're gonna have to deal with both, and in between the non-binary and stuff like that. But it seems to me that the common usual suspect is that women, for some reason, the way that they'll treat you in everyday life is the same way that they'll treat you in business. And it just baffles me how I don't get the same treatment for men in business. I don't know, maybe it might be controversial that maybe some women just, I don't know what it is, but women and being in business and then not being able to, coordinate in business. But like I said, this does not go for all women. This just happens to be a lot of the women that I've been doing business with that just seem to not know how to do business. For example, like, me doing DoorDash or Uber and stuff like that. Picking up the phone or whatever, just ignoring the phone, knowing that they do see the phone and stuff like that, and you can relate to that maybe in your relationship life or your dating life and stuff like that. That women like to ghost you or whatever as a man. They just like to ghost you or whatever and play games or whatever. Or you text them, and I'm speaking on this in a business sense, because I stopped dating a long time ago or whatever, right? But even in business, I'm like, shit, is this hard even in business too, bro? Like, sometimes I'm just like, it could be so simple. I'm just trying to contact you about your order, bro. I'm just trying to get a hold of you so we can work together to get what you want done. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is not all women, but this happens to be most women in business that I've contacted, and I've served thousands of customers. So my statistics based on what I'm saying right now is pretty much valid. Maybe I had a little bit less inventory of customers that I've served, and maybe, but still at that point, you can still do a probability assessment of what the probability of this customer might be, or what the probability of this customer might be based on probability, because you possibly served 2 or more customers. You can do a probability off of 2 or more customers, so for every 2 customers, there will be this one customer that would not be your ideal candidate. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that for some odd reason, like I said, when it comes to my female or women customers, for some odd reason, it seems to be a problem with like communication, where, like I said, they don't want to pick up the phone. They want to ignore texts and stuff like that, or they want to act like they don't know what is going on, or they want to act like you're bothering them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm just trying to contact you about your order, and you're acting like I'm bothering you. You're bothering me by not helping us get your order together. You're not about to get some of the stuff that's even on your order, bro. Like, I'm trying to be nice enough to help you. That's what my job is entailed. I'm supposed to help you. You hire me to help you. I chose your order, and I'm trying to help you get what you need to get. You know, sometimes I really don't understand what it is with women and business. Like I said, this is not based off of just a handful of them. I don't want that either right now. No. Because I just finished doing a Kroger order, and that's what actually ticked me off, because like I said, this has happened on multiple occasions where the common denominator is women and business. And for some odd reason, it's just like it's so hard for some of them to just coordinate in business. I'm talking about just business. Like I said, I stopped dating a long time ago, right? So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put it past women, right, that they can coordinate themselves in business. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is not all women. Some of them can actually coordinate. Some of them are happy to do business with you and more than willing to work with you. But like I said, that is far and few of the women that want to actually do business with you and do business with you on a cordial level where it's actually business professional and not them treating you as if you're less than, or like they're just treating you like, you know what I'm saying, like you're just the scum on earth. Like, I'm like, bro, it's not that hard to do business. But some of them, they just, like I said, I don't understand that common denominator where it's just women. If they're not treating you bad in your dating life, they're gonna treat you bad in business too. And it's just a common denominator. It gets really, really annoying for real. It really does. And like I said, sometimes, like I said, it's not all women, but it is a vast majority. And every time that I seem to get women as my customers, for some odd reason, it seems to be this for every one customer or every two customers that I get that are women, bro, it's always gonna be a woman that is my most problematic customer. I promise you, it's all the time. Not all women, but it is. Whenever I do get a customer that is problematic for me, it is always a woman, it seems. I don't understand that dynamic, bro. Like I said, not all women are problematic, you know, not all of them, but it is a vast majority of them, bro. And I want to understand that dynamic. And like I said, it's even, you know, there's a whole lot of like dating rhetoric that's going around, you know, the fact that women seem to be the common denominator in problems in dating, you know, communication, just in general, for some odd reason. And it is so hard. And like I said, I stopped dating a long time ago, bro. I really did, because I thought that I could escape the problems, but unfortunately they just follow you into a different sector of your life. And I'm like, God damn, bro, like, you really can't escape the shit for real. You really can't escape it at all. And you just have to just woosah and breathe, you know, like, just breathe. I don't want this one either. But you just have to breathe, bro. You really do. You really do. And it's so sad that it's the common denominator, man. It is so sad. You know, and maybe, I don't know, maybe not everybody has the same problem, you know, or maybe the people can relate. They do have this problem, you know, that it seems, you know, maybe as a male or even as a female, maybe you as a female, you know, like, or a woman, you know, I don't mean that in like a derogatory term of when I say female or woman, you know, when somebody addresses me as a male or a man, I don't take that as derogatory. So whenever I say female or woman, I don't mean female in a derogatory term. So I don't want to get that term mixed up at all with anybody's dictionary or thesaurus wording, okay? So whenever I do say female or woman, I mean that in a in a based sense of just the scope of whatever I'm talking about and who I'm talking about, right? So, like I said, it just seems to be so funny that you just can't seem to escape this problem. Like I said, even if you're a woman, and maybe some of your most problematic customers seem to be a woman, you know, maybe you as a woman actually like to be having customers as a, you know, like male customers. You prefer male customers because for some odd reason the women like to give you as a woman problems. Like I said, and it's just the common denominator. Like I said, I know that from my experiences of, you know, dealing with my customers in business. But, you know, like I said, you know, maybe women have this same statistic that they seem to have the worst customers that are women for some odd reason, right? But yeah, I honestly wanted to get that off my chest, honestly, for real, because I just find it just very interesting that you can't escape the problems anywhere from a certain people. I want to say, like I said, there have been troublesome male customers that I've had, but man, when I tell you that is like less than possibly 2%, literally, I want to be more generous than that. I'll be more generous and I'll say 5%. Less than 5% of my male customers have been like, you know, just they don't have the best communication or whatever, or, you know, they want to act like, you know, they don't know what's going on, or, you know, they act like they don't want to deal with you, knowing that there's what they're doing business with you. You know, you're trying to get their orders, or you're trying to pick them up or whatever. You know, if you're doing Uber rides or whatever and stuff, they don't know what's going on for some odd reason. You know, people want to act oblivious. But like I said, when I have problems with my male customers, it is far and few in between. Like I said, 5%, and that's being generous. I don't have usually a problem with my male customers for some odd reason. Like I said, and women might have the same thing where they don't have a problem with their male customers. It'd be the females for real. Don't understand. But like I said, I want to just address that because I just found that very interesting. So if anybody wants to comment on what they think about, you know, or what their experience is about, you know, the people that they deal with and what problems they deal with on a daily basis from a certain person or certain people or whatever, certain gender, you know, not trying to discriminate or whatever, or trying to cause a war, but, you know, it's just the fact that this same rhetoric keeps coming up, that there is a problem with communication and just in general with just one specific type of person, you know, and it just doesn't make any sense, you know. So, but yeah, that's all for right now. But like I said, I'm in Buckhead right now, doing DoorDash, you know. And let me see, go hither. We can open up Scroober. I haven't done Uber's work in so long, for real, because they don't want to pay nothing at all. They've been shitty for the last few days, for the last few weeks, for real. So my acceptance rate is 0%. It's been like that for like over like 2 weeks now. And my cancellation rate has been going down to like 10%, so that's cool, I guess. But my acceptance rate is never gonna reach the high numbers of more than 10%, and that's even being generous too, because the money isn't in anything that's higher than 10%. Literally, you have to cherry pick the hell out of these orders, and even more now because they're paying way less. It's super hard to scope and make your money now because the money is drying up real bad. You know, there's of course less tipping. The apps are playing games, you know, so it's really getting a little bit kind of strenuous on actually gauging on how you're gonna actually make money for real. So I've been making money mainly off of Amazon lately. But usually Uber and DoorDash are just my little fillers or whatever and stuff. And then my taxes actually show it because I've actually made more off of Amazon than I have doing. It's honestly doing Uber and DoorDash on my taxes. It just says all I've been using them is for just like little pocket change. Like it's like my amount of taxes, like my because I only got NECs or whatever. I didn't even get like a 1099K or whatever. I didn't even make enough to make a 1099K off of Uber or DoorDash at all for this year. But literally, like my 1099s are so low for Uber and DoorDash, like for the year of 2025. Well, 2025, but you filed in 2026. But 2025. The whole entire year, I'm like, damn, I thought I did more work, but I really didn't, I guess. I was like, I don't know, there was no money for them. So I only work with the apps if they have money. And if they don't got no money, I'm not going to work with them. So if they're not going to pay me no money, they're not going to make no money off of me, because we work together. We're supposed to be partners. So if you're treating me like I'm a peasant or I'm less than, I'm not going to work with you, because that doesn't make any sense. So if we're partners, we're supposed to be half and half, or somebody's supposed to be at least a 51-49. You feel me? So we're at least somebody's still like in somewhere that majority line, but we're still partners in a way where we're not too far apart of who's ever making more and who's making less. You feel me? That's where we should be at if we are partners. We're not doing 20-80, you know what I'm saying, 40-60, like 90-10. We're not doing those types of ratios. It's either 50-50 or 49-51, something like that. It has to be somewhere like that. But if it's not that or whatever, then I'm not doing it at all. You can count me out on trying to make money with you, because you're not trying to pay me or help me make any money for us. So, and that's my biggest gripe of sometimes with like my female customers again, where it's like, let's work together to get this job done, but it seems as though that some women just don't want to work with you, and it just seems to be that it is what it is with them. But like I said, I'm just gonna be around Atlanta. It looks like just scoping around like where the money is, which obviously you've seen is not really much out, and it hasn't really been hitting my screen lately. It's Saturday. Usually it'd be more busy, but like I said, for some odd reason, this month, January, has been super, super bad. I don't know what it is, but it's been super bad, literally. I don't even know how much I've even made for January, but it's been super slow, super slow. The only thing that's been kind of keeping me afloat and giving me money is Amazon right now. And they're slowing down a little bit too, but not that much. But they're slowing down a little bit. But it's cool. It's cool. So yeah, I'll, I guess, update you guys, with whatever else, other content that, I decide to speak on about. But I just want to definitely touch bases on that part of my work and what I deal with, and seeing if anybody else can relate. So I'll get back with you guys. The time right now is 11:03 p.m. It is still Saturday, January 24th, 2026. And I was just giving you guys an update on my Uber and DoorDash adventure, because it's always an adventure. But so far, well, as you can see, I upped my acceptance rate, but I never got to complete an order due to, let me see if I can go to my, hold on, no, not that, see details, blah, blah, see earning details. So I was recently just on this trip here for Five Guys, but I couldn't complete this one because, lo and behold, I don't know what it is with being out here in Atlanta, but for some odd reason, you just can't escape the random accidents, bro. Like, at 11 o'clock at night, bro. Their highways are nowhere near busy, but somehow, some way, wherever there's a way, there is a will, a strong will at that, to cause accidents out here in Atlanta. I don't know what it is, but I'm out here on 400 or whatever on the way to pick up this order that says that it was supposed to be $36. Pretty cool, right? You know, I forgot how far I was going, but I don't remember how far I was going. But it was pretty decent because I accepted it, right? And then lo and behold, I'm thinking now I'm in the, you know, I'm getting this jackpot or whatever. Boom, accident, straight on 400 where I'm supposed to be going to pick up this order, right? Next thing you know, I'm supposed to be going to Target or whatever to in Atlanta or whatever. And this Target, for some odd reason, has low inventory on. It's just always a problem at this Target out here in Midtown for some odd reason, right? But this person wanted a certain item from produce, and this item I already knew was out of stock, right? I was like, oh my God, bro, please be in stock. But, you know, I already knew in the back of my head and my subconscious, I was like, this Target always has a problem with not having this certain item in produce ever, right? And if they do, it's low inventory and it's not what the customer wants at all, right? So I go in there, boom, they have no inventory of whatever the customer wants. And, you know, they still paid me or whatever, as you can see, you know, a measly $4, but, you know, didn't have what the customer wanted, so I didn't get to complete the order for what the actual price of this order was, right? And then this right here was a GoPuff delivery, right? And then what do you know? This is why I don't do GoPuff at all, because every single time I wind up looking like a fool because these orders always get stolen, or they never go through in the system every single time. It's nowhere in between. And if you do get this order, you're super, super lucky. But literally every single time with these freaking GoPuff orders out here in Atlanta, it's either the order stolen or it hasn't gone into the system at all, so they don't have the order at all. So it's one or the other there. So this order was a GoPuff order, and I didn't get to pick it up, and it was actually paying pretty decently, going super short mileage. Didn't get to pick it up because somebody else stole the order. And I'm getting tired of, like, people. I don't understand what it is with drivers that decide to want to steal the order and you don't get the money at all. So it's like, yes, you do get the food, or you get the items, the contents of the order, but you don't get the money at all. That's kind of dumb to me. It's like you can deliver the order, get your money, and then get whatever you need from that money that you get. But I don't know, it's like it's something wrong with the integrity of the drivers that we have nowadays, bro. I'm not doing that trash, but it's just something about the integrity of the people that are, you know, that are doing the work, bro, and it's affecting everybody else just because they don't want to be honest. They don't want to have integrity of doing the work, getting their money, and then doing what they need to do with the money that they worked for. They want to just take from other people, you know, and it's just so annoying to me, bro. It really is. Like I said, it affects us because now I'm losing out money because other people want to steal, and I can't get my money from whatever they stole, you know. So but yeah, so far it's just that. And yeah, I'm looking at this accident that just happened or whatever out here, bro. Oh my God, it's bad. It's pretty bad. I don't understand how this happens, bro. It's bad. I don't understand. How does this even happen? At 11 o'clock at night, bro? It doesn't make any sense to me. It literally does not make any sense to me at all. But my last order was $5. It was a quick Walgreens order. It was only going a mile or whatever. I really don't be doing those orders, but it was only one item, and I knew that Walgreens has it, usually do, so I didn't have a problem with, you know, shopping there for the order. So I'm about to end this trip right here because I'm about to cancel out my day because there is no more money out right now. See earnings. Show payout details, recent details. So yeah, we made $5 plus the 13, so we made about $18 or $19 Yeah, $19 off of DoorDash today. American Express. I wonder, does this even exist? We're gonna see if this exists, bro. If this doesn't exist, bro, this is gonna be the end of my day, because oh my god, and I missed my freaking exit. That's so dumb. So dumb. But I'm gonna see if this shit exists, bro, because this is gonna end out my day. It's a long trip, as you guys can see, $31 or whatever it said for 20 something miles. There's no other money out, so after this, I don't know, I thought they were about to cancel it out. So I'm about to start tracking my mileage, right? Because I'm not about to do this free mileage. This is about to help me on my taxes for next year's filing or whatever. I'm not about to do these free miles or whatever. So even if they don't got the order or whatever, or they're closed, you know, what's it called? I'm gonna get these mileages taken off of my taxes or whatever. So yeah, so I'm about to do that and cancel out my day, hopefully. So if we make the $30 or whatever, we'll make about, what's that, 30 plus 19, that's almost about $50, or that is gonna be about $50 on the day or whatever. I started late because I don't do, as I say in my other videos, I don't drive during the daytime, because there is no money in the daytime. There's never any money in the daytime. I'm not a daytime person, because out here in Atlanta, you're gonna learn the hard way that you're gonna be in traffic, and that literally there is no money in the daytime. So that's why I don't drive in the daytime. Yeah, like I said, I'm about to see if this place actually has this order. I'm gonna end out my day with this order or whatever. So I'll get back to you guys if I get to pick it up, and we'll see how we end out my day with $50, hopefully. Alright, so the time right now is 11:26 p.m. Saturday, January 24th, 2026. And it looks like we got to pick up that order that's going down, wherever it's going down. I think it's to Fayetteville. What's it called? And what's it called? It's only 22 minutes, 16 miles. So it's about a high $1.80, $1.90 a mile or whatever, something like that. It's almost $2 a mile or whatever, because it's about like $32 that I think this order is worth, I guess. But you know, it is what it is. But you know, I haven't been getting anything else lately, so this order is gonna end out my night. Let's see. Yeah, we're going out to all the way past, Fayetteville. I'm gonna block that address out, but yeah, it looks like it's going down to Fayetteville. So 22 minutes. That's what it is. So let's get it done. And also, I do want to add something that I always text my customers, you know, just to add some enthusiasm about the fact that, you know, I'm bringing them their order, you know, I'm on the way, or, you know, and I think I said this in my last video, just, you know, keeping your customers up to date, you know, just making sure your customers just on par with whatever is going on. If there's a delay, you know, something like that, just letting them know what's all going on. You know, like I text all my customers this same text, like I'm on the way, with an exclamation mark, just like I said, just for enthusiasm, just to show them that, you know, I'm happy to serve them, you know, I'm here to work with them, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't know, but basically just showing them that you're here to work with them. You're not, you know, a Debbie Downer, you know, you're not sad that you actually have to take the order to them, and you know, you have to do all this driving or whatever, something like that. Like I said, serve the customers that you choose to serve, and that means, you know, to actually, you know, communicate with them, act like you want to actually be a part of this transaction. You know, treat your customers like how you'd want to be treated. You want to be treated, you know, by whoever's serving you with, you know, respect, use the enthusiasm, or just some type of kindness, just some type of openness, showing that you're open, like that's how you get better tips in this line of business. That's how you get customers that like you, going forward. This is how you get referrals going forward, just doing simple things like that. You don't have to go overboard and, like do the most or whatever, but, simple things like just sending a message or giving a call or whatever, and just letting your customer know that, whatever it is, just simple things like that. But, like I said, that's something I did want to add. I did speak on that in my last video or something like that, about just treating your customers right. Serve the people that you are serving. Like, actually do the work, like, don't just half-ass the job and feel like you're gonna get the most out of it if you're not actually trying to serve the people that you're serving. Like, you'd feel the same way if you're at a restaurant and your server, your waitress or whatever, your host is not really asking you, if you need certain things or whatever, or if just not really coming around, not really serving you or whatever. You probably won't tip that person. You probably think that person sees you in like less of a regard, like they don't really need to serve you that much because they don't really care about it, so. And I use that analogy just in this instance of like I said, serve the people that you want to serve. So that means putting that extra effort into the people that you choose to work with, work for, whatever the predicament is, so that's all I wanted to add for right now. Alright, so I just finished dropping off that order. But so I had the whole, you guys probably already are gonna correct me anyway when you guys see the video, but I corrected myself from my mistake. The address wasn't in Fayetteville. It was on a road called Fayetteville, and that road is out in part of Atlanta, actually out near like Glenwood, I want to say, or not Glenwood, but what is it? Yeah, Glenwood. Actually, it is Glenwood. Yeah, it's out here near Glenwood or whatever, on like 20 or whatever. But yeah, so I want to, I guess, correct that. I was like wondering, like, no, Fayetteville is not. Fayetteville's way down south, and it's on the other side. Yeah, it's going down on this side over here. Is this west? Yeah, we're on the east side, so Fayetteville is going down like on the west side. Yeah, Union City, Tyrone. Yeah, Fayetteville is over on like the southwest-ish, kind of, I want to say. But yeah, it would definitely. And I was wondering, like, why is it so close? I'm like, Fayetteville is far as hell, but yeah, no, it wasn't in Fayetteville. It was on a road called Fayetteville, so that was definitely my mistake for sure. But yeah, it was cool. And also, so the mileage on this, including dead miles, because I was just calculating like because from what you guys will also see in the video, was I was calculating the miles from the actually arriving at the store and then the drop off. But in total, the dead miles for the whole trip was 25 miles or whatever, from me calculating on, was it the Everlance app or whatever? Yeah, it was a 25 mile trip in total. So it was a dollar. I don't know how to do the math on that, but it was definitely low dollar mileage, maybe like $1. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really fucking know. $1 something, but it was definitely somewhere around the area where I usually don't do trips at. But unfortunately, because there was no money today, I decided to just what do you call it? What's the word for it? I decided to freaking just work with it. I decided to just work with it, bro. Just work with it, because there was no money. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make a way. Wherever there's a way, there's a will. Just like the people that like to cause accidents out here in Atlanta. Wherever there's a way, there's a will, right? But yeah, so that's gonna just end out my night with whatever I have. So yeah, measly. That I gotta wait for the tip to come through. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the night though. So yeah, I'm about to do my edits and then upload this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.